Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Trader Tim from over at eminimind.com, and we're going to do a trade recap here for the week. It's January 23rd, 2020, and not a ton going on intraday wise. Couple of setups, but not a whole lot to talk about. So what I thought I'd do is kind of run through the swing trades, just because those have been kind of forefront on the forefront here, and certainly more lucrative on the whole than the ES has been in the last couple of days. So we've kind of flattened out a little bit, and then today's candle made a bullish close. If we go back to the daily chart, we can see using the most recent swing low is right here, and that low to high gives us the really the 3300 or so, 3299 support level. We didn't quite close the gap from the 15th. We did fill it on the 16th today, but otherwise all the gaps remain below us. Target on this 32.99 is up at 33.55, so should easily be able to push there this week or next week rather. Swing trade wise though, I wanted to talk about how I manage a position that goes in your favor but then gets a little pullback. So we talked about the Microsoft trade in the live session and in a couple of the videos in the past here. The entry was on the 7th, just above the high of this low bar in this little pullback. And every day it kind of made a higher low until right here on the 22nd. Notice we broke below the low of the high bar in this rally. And so um, if you're if you're trading the option contract, well, if you were trading the January contract, you'd already be out because that one expired last week. But let's say you were trading February, you would really need a couple of contracts in order to do what I'm describing here. But if you were trading the underlying stock, then no big deal. But essentially, what I like to do when we break the low of the high bar for a long, in terms of taking profit, is to take half of the position off. And that's because, if you look back to, the uptrend here, we have these little pullbacks that are followed by, new highs. We make a pullback, make a new high, make a little bit of a pullback, make a new high. And so I I would rather stay in the position than kind of get in, get out, get in, get out all the way up. Because sometimes you don't really get a good opportunity to get in again. So it's important to lock in some profit, but it's also important to kind of milk the trade for all you can get out of it. So when it does come up and break the low of the high bar, take off half the position, and then if this ends up being the low point and we make a new high, then that's where I'll put my stop. I'll trail it underneath the swings. So I've still got half the Microsoft, and the other long that I've got is the APO, and that one was same setup, just long above the high of this low bar here, and the same concept, just trailing each candle's low, and then if we break the candle's low, then you can go ahead and take half off, and then trail swings on the second half. Um, if you are trading the option, it's it's advantageous to close it out on a strong up day, or if you have had a couple up days in a row, because let's say you move sideways here for 3 or 4 days, well, typically the contract is going to continue to erode even if the price is staying the same, just because of that time decay. So, that's obviously an advantage of trading the underlying. And then I put on two shorts. First one was BNFK, and just the opposite of those two longs, getting short below the low of the high bar in this little bounce. And this one trading nicely. Hasn't broken the swing low yet, but it's certainly on its way. And then the fourth one was CNK, and this one was a little bit shaky at the start here. We broke the low of the high bar, just like the prior short. But then over here we came above the high of the low bar, meaning, we're making lower high, and then boom, we break that lower high. And so you can do a couple of things here. A stop at this point at a 32.41 is above the entry price, which was a 32.09. And so you can choose to just leave your stop alone, the initial stop. You could take off half the position if you wanted to just, cut your position down and then see if the rest of it kind of rolls over and goes in your favor. You could take a third off or some percentage of the position off. But just like intraday trading on the ES, those first couple of minutes when you get into an ES trade tend to be, they can be a little bit uh, choppy or range bound. Like if the trade's gonna lag or just kind of sit and not move, it's typically going to happen right around the entry. And then once it gets away from your entry, it's pretty easy to just kind of trail your stop as it goes. And so swing trading is the same way. First couple days, like even if I go back to the Microsoft trade, the first day it closed down, and then the second day it closed just slightly up, but really didn't go anywhere. And it wasn't until the third day that we really kind of got some momentum and made a new high. So you have to be patient on a little bit bigger scale or a little bit bigger time frame in terms of a couple of days. Just like on the ES, you have to be patient in the terms of the first couple of minutes. Now, obviously, the best trades are the ones that come down, trigger, and rip right away, or on the daily chart, break through and just take off. And I would consider Microsoft one of those. I mean, yes, it closed with a bearish candle here on the entry day, but I mean, every single day it's made a higher low, and it's made just about a 10-point run up from the entry. So that was a pretty good one. And then right now I'm kind of balanced 2 and 2 because we have the potential to go higher here, but there's also those shorts are acting weak in themselves relative to the S&P. So the trend here is down. So even though the broader market's going up, if the broader market were to go down, then these two should really sell off. But if not, this one stop above the high, just a few cents, in 2026, and take off half the position there if it does break tomorrow. So that's kind of what I got swing trading wise. A couple of intraday setups this week, but not really a whole lot. It, kind of sideways on the S&P here, the and the ES. So we'll see if this 32.99 is enough momentum, and the close today, closing at highs after making this low, and in intraday, kind of selling off, making a low on the day, and then rallying to new high is a very bullish pattern. So we'll see if the next week here we can run up to 33.55 and continue our move higher. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I hope everyone has a great Friday and weekend. We'll talk to you soon.